Today's video is in two parts that is packed with some amazing things you don't want to miss. Stay tuned. Stuart, Florida is a cozy little town. In downtown Stuart, they have cute shops and great marketplaces, and they even hold outdoor festivals. We can talk about cozy downtown Stuart with all the different arts, from statues in the runabouts throughout the town. And they even have murals on the buildings. And here's another one. So no matter where you go, you see art. Here's another runabout that has the sand cranes. And there's art pieces on the sides of the building. And other creative pieces that actually come outside the window. And this particular runabout has the famous sailfish water features. But no matter where you go, you'll see buildings with the artist's rendition of the sea.
We can also talk about sitting on a boat or on a dock, sipping your favorite wine and watching the sunset. That would be for another video.
Stuart, Florida is definitely a community that loves art.
So in this video, we're going to talk about the artists and learn more about them and their artwork.
We are going to talk about Martin County Open Studio Tour 2022, where we will interview several artists and see how they got their inspiration and what kind of art that they like to do.
If you like what you see, perhaps you can make plans to come and visit Stuart during January, February, or March, whenever they have the next Martin County Open Studio Tour. Here's a preview of what's to come.
And when you see an artist's name in yellow, this means that we did a 360 virtual tour that you will find in the description below. Just click on the link to see the tour, and then Google Maps will take you to the artist's studio if you decide to visit them.
If this video was helpful to you in any way, perhaps it made you want to check out the artist, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it. It's one way in which you can support us. It's all about food and places. And another way you can support us is through our merchandise store. There's a link to that in the description below this video.
Have fun and enjoy the video. So today we want to show you where we're starting our video, and it is at the Palm Room, and it is an art gallery and an artisan's boutique. Come along with us inside and see what they have to offer today. So our first artist that we are going to speak with this morning, what is your name, my friend?
Lynn Morgan.
What is your medium?
Well, I do both pastels and oil paintings.
How long have you been an artist?
Well, gosh, I've been an artist really all my life, and I'm not saying how many years that's been, but you know, I used to do it as a hobby when I was younger, and then when I worked, you know, for many years, and when I retired, I thought, well, what is it that I really want to do with myself after retirement? And I decided that art was what I really loved, so I decided I was going to make it a full-time job.
Was there anything in particular that really inspired you in order to be an artist?
I think probably it was my mother. My mother went to art school in New York when she was young. She went to the Parsons School, and she never really followed up with it because a lot of things happened, but you know, she always encouraged my art, and I always loved it, so it was sort of a natural evolution. And I hope you all will visit my website at lynnmorgangallery.com.
Another artist studio. Please tell us your name.
Angela Krogan.
Okay, and what is your medium?
Oil on canvas.
And how long have you been an artist?
Since 2005.
Angela, so tell us, what really inspired you to become an artist?
Going through my childhood, doing my years of seeing a lot of my family, relatives and people, friends, they were architects, they were graphic designers. I saw a lot of artistic talent in my family, and I felt like I wanted to really try it and see if I could draw it out from me.
So Angela, tell us a little bit about your story as far as how you got into art and how you create your pieces.
I believe that art is an expression of our beings, and everyone has artistic talent one way or another. I believe that we also become what we behold, so I really got enticed with just looking at creation, nature, and just seeing the beautiful, how the colors reflect, with the different lights, and I just really wanted to bring joy with nature, because there is so much in creation and nature. So I just encourage everybody to, just to let it be drawn out of you. Even if you have not majored in that fine arts or the artistic subject, I think it is an artistic talent that you can draw out from you. And so I encourage everyone to just try it, because I think it's a great thing to express yourself and just bring joy and a lot of fun.
So let me ask you, do you have a website so people can go and actually see your work?
Yes, my website is angelacroganartist.com, and you're more than welcome to come, and if you have any commissions or anything that you would like me to paint, I'm also doing that. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys.
Would you like to tell us your name?
My name is Deborah Bottorff.
And what is your medium?
I do 3-dimensional acrylic on canvas, and it actually looks like it might be ceramic or it might be heavy, but it's actually very lightweight foam. And I sketch on a canvas with my pencil, and to come from a photograph or an image in my head. And then I start cutting out foam pieces after I have painted them, and I place them down on the canvas in all different kinds of shapes and put it together like a very, very minute, intricate puzzle. And so that's the basis of all of these pieces that I have in the gallery.
What really encouraged you or inspired you to become an artist?
Well, I grew up in Southern California, and I used to visit Laguna Beach quite often, and I was so impressed with the plein air artists that painted on the beach. And then I was only 8 years old, and I realized at that time that I wanted to really pursue a life of creative endeavors. And from that point on, I started creating. I started painting and drawing, and it was very prevalent all throughout my life. And whenever I came to a point where I was very serious about it, then I decided to go to school and learn. And so I went to the Art Institute of Dallas and got an education there in art. And I had a choice between doing my art or doing graphic design, because they're quite similar. And so I chose my course as a graphic designer, but at the same time, the art was always there with me. So it really helped me in my graphic design to be very creative, and I've won multitudes of awards in graphic design. But now I am solely concentrated on my art, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very meditative. There are lots of little pieces that go on. It takes a long time, but by the time it's through, I'll pop a bottle of champagne and celebrate the fact that I finished another one. And each one of them brings me so much peace and so much joy, and so completely devoid of deadlines and commitments. So that's one of my favorite things about doing it.
And how long have you been an artist?
Most of my life. I've been creating all my life, since the time I was 8 years old, and all through high school. I won a who's who in my high school, and even sold paintings when I was in high school. They still probably hang somewhere in a dentist or doctor's office. And I have had shows before, and I've just joined the Martin Artisans Guild just a couple of months ago. And they're a wonderful group. I love everybody in the group, and they promote the arts so much here in the area, and so it was just a perfect place for me to get started back into the thing that I really love full time.
Do you happen to have a website that people can go to?
Yes, it's deborahbottorff-artist.com, and I hope you come and take a look at my work, and I keep it updated. I add pieces as I finish, and I even give previews to the pieces that I'm working on.
Okay, so Deborah, now the hard question. You might have to think about it a minute, but what are your 3 favorite pieces of the ones you have displayed? Can you pick them out?
I think my favorites have to be coconuts and bananas. Those two were the first ones that I did when I joined the guild. And I think the reason I really like them so much is because when I moved to Florida, I was so fascinated by the fact that there are so many coconut trees and banana trees here. And I live in an area where I can grow coconuts and bananas. So they're growing in my backyard and they're a part of my life. So I just decided that these two had to go hand in hand whenever I first gave a start.
So now we're over in another location. We're at an art gallery in the Cultural Courthouse. And the lady that we are going to be interviewing now, her name is, please tell us your name.
Cheryl Cote, but I'm known as Charlie to my artist friends.
What kind of medium is your art?
At this point, I'm strictly acrylics.
Very good. And how long have you been an artist?
I think I was born one. From the very beginning, I started drawing with pencils, chalk, whatever I could find. I think I did my first mural in first grade.
So what inspired you to be an artist?
I don't think I was even inspired to it. I think it's just something that I am, something that I have always been.
Just for those that really aren't too familiar with you and the type of art you do and why you do your art, can you give us a little bit of background about your story? Because it is a beautiful one.
My story is, through my works, I want to encourage anyone who has difficulties and has a hard time fighting through them. I lost one of my eyes at 6 months old to cancer. And within the last 10, 12 years, I have retinal edema in what used to be my good eye. Every 3 weeks, I travel to Miami to get an injection of Avastin to save my vision. So my titles, my paintings are all for people who want to have some sort of encouragement.
We can see there's a lot of expression in your prints and a lot of color, which is a beautiful thing. If you were to sum it up, Cheryl, in just maybe a few sentences, what's the point you really want to share with people?
I want to encourage people to know that they can get past any struggles that they might have if you believe in yourself.
Thank you so much. Before we go, let me ask one more thing. Do you have a website that people can go to in order to see more pieces of your art?
I do not have a website set up yet, but I do have my Instagram, which is Martini Hour 14, and that is where you can view my works. Thank you.
So today we're at another location and we're with a new artist. So can you please tell us what your name is?
Malubisat.
And what is your medium of art?
I paint with oils and strictly with palette knife. I don't use no brushes.
And that we're going to explore a little bit more, but I think that's fascinating. Can you explain what that means, how you paint with a palette knife?
You know, I did try with the brushes, but they are just too slow for me. I'm a very busy woman. I'm always on the go. And when you paint with the palette knife, you basically just start in one corner or side and you just keep going. It's not layers of painting, you just paint. You know, it's very hard to decide, where to start, but when you once start, it's very hard to also change anything. So you have to be like, what would I say about myself, crazy person. So when you once start, you can't stop. You know, it's people find it very fascinating. So like during the tour, I do a demo with my palette knife. And people find it just very interesting. I tell people, I was born and raised in Finland. And in Finland, we didn't have any guns to use when old days. I tell people we just use knives, in the fights. So now I'm so used to the knife. So I was born with the knife. So that's all I can say about my knife.
Very nice, very nice. Love your explanation. So let me ask you, how long have you been an artist?
I actually own a business here in Martin County for 34 years. So 2008, when the economy was going a little down the tubes and I got very bored in my business, I had this place where I lived for a long time, so I used to do a lot of flowers, but then I was tired of the flowers, and my daughter is also part of a guild, and she's a pottery artist, and I had tried pottery when I was a young child. I have one pot left I made in 1969. So I came to work one day and said, Alex, I want to go with you to the pottery studio. And she said, hell no. That was her words. Go get your own hobby. You always wanted to be an artist. You always said you wanted to be an artist. So go now and do your art. So I actually signed up for the first lesson in Martin High School in adult education 2008. So that's when I started.
What was your passion or your inspiration to become an artist?
Just because I thought the artists were very cool. I wanted to be cooler than a cucumber.
Well, definitely you got the cool factor on. I'm just going to say, you definitely, exceed
So
that.
I thought, what the heck, so it's been a very good thing for me.
Do you have a website that people can go to?
Yes, malubiset.com.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you a very hard question.
Eh.
I know. But we're asking the artists today if they can choose 3 of their favorites out of the ones that are displayed. What would they be? What would be your 3 favorites?
So, of course, my first choice would be down that way. Because I'm also a cat lover. I was a board member for Non-Kill Cat Rescue here in Pound City for 10 years. And cats are my passion. After my art, cats are still the best. So let's go this way.
Okay, we're following you.
So this is my stackable cats. They have washers and dryers, which are stackable, but it's my cats what are stackable. So I love cats for the reason the eyes are so fabulous. Because you can see cats and they have all the different colors of the eyes. It's just, to me, it's just fascinating. And these guys are pretty cool cats. So, and every painting I paint, there's actually a little black cat in there, even the cats has a cat friend. I don't really know where that is in there. Sometimes I make it so small so I can't find it myself. Good question. Where are you? Meow. I don't know. Oh, it's sitting there on the top of the other cat's ear, but it's so tiny you can just slightly see the little yellow eyes. I always put yellow eyes on it, and it's in there, right there in that cat. So it's just, it is a good gimmick when you go on the street shows, because the parents can buy paintings and the kids are looking for the cats. And the second one, I do love water. Water is probably, I grew up on the water in Finland, and then I lived in Florida for 7 years. These are my underwater scenes. I really have never been underwater, so I make these corals up. I don't know if they exist or not, but I just think it's kind of cool to just make all kinds of little things. But so this one is called the reef living. So I had a couple of turtles, sea turtles there, and some fish going around, and there's a cat in there too. But then the last one inside there, and paint a lot of the water scenes. And in here, let's go back this way. There's another big coral thing. It's called the Confusion Corner. So if you are from Stuart, you will know what that means. Those animals are very confused in that painting. But then I love the water, and I like the sky, and I love driftwood. So this could be my 3rd favorite painting. So that's it. Thank you so much for coming.
So we're located at another artist's house today, and could you tell us your name, please?
My name is Laura Kay Whitaker Darville.
And how long have you been an artist?
I have been a jewelry artist probably about 11 years now.
Do you just do jewelry?
I just do jewelry. I do silver jewelry, and I do some wire wrap. I also do some gold, mostly the gold filled, which is not gold plated. It's much, much higher quality than that. And I work with silver clay, which is baked in a kiln, and then after it comes out of the kiln, it's pure silver.
Beautiful. So my next question is, what inspired you to get into your type of artistry?
Well, it's really strange. I was on a transatlantic cruise, and we had a lot of days at sea, so I went to this jewelry class, which was really just stringing beads on a little thing. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. So I came back and I took a little course at Michael's, and I was like, I think I'll investigate it further. So I went to a place in Georgia called William Holland Lapidary School and started taking classes there. It was wonderful. I had so much fun. I go back there every year, and I just started there, and I've gone to conferences and workshops, things like that. My father was an artist. I didn't think I had any artistic ability because he did paintings and I didn't do paintings, but I really enjoy the jewelry.
Well, that's nice to hear, and sounds like he inspired you a little bit too.
He definitely inspired me a lot. Yes, he was a great inspiration to me.
So let me ask you, do you have a website that people can go to in order to see your different pieces?
Yes, I do. It's called Jewelry by Whitaker, and the Whitaker is spelled WHITICAR.com.
So if someone was going to try to get into becoming an artist, what would you suggest? Is there benefits to becoming an artist?
It kind of depends on your goal. If your goal is to become rich quick, no, there are not those benefits. But it's very fulfilling, it's very fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoy the artists I meet and work with, and it's just a chance to create things, which is great.